All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings. We got a late night victory upload for you guys at home, 22-17. Forget about it, man. This was an absolutely critical statement victory. And watch out, man. The Minnesota Vikings have now rattled off 2 straight, and they have now won 3 out of their last 4. But this certainly was a statement victory. Keep in mind, guys, they are still without one of, if not the best wide receiver in the entire National Football League in yours truly, Justin Jefferson. Shout out to Cameron Bynum. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. Shout out to Jordan Addison. Shout out to this Minnesota Vikings team dominating the time of possession, being as efficient as you can, specifically on third down as a team, as an offense, going 8 of 13, 452 yards of offense. They held San Francisco to just 65 rushing yards with a non-limited Christian McCaffrey. There were 1 turnover, but they had 3 freaking takeaways against one of not only the best teams in the NFC, but one of the best teams in the entire National Football League in the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, this was textbook. This was a textbook statement victory. I am so amped up for my Minnesota Vikings fans. But guys, before we get into it tonight, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I cannot wait to start ramping up this Vikings content as well. If you could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So guys, keep in mind, this defense was a huge question mark for so many people heading into the regular season. Obviously, Minnesota starts off their season with 3 straight losses. They gave up 34 to Philadelphia. They gave up 28 to the Chargers. They gave up 27 to the Chiefs. Back-to-back weeks now, they've given up less than 20 points. Actually, 3 of their last 4 weeks, all 3 of those were wins. The defense has been stepping up, but guys, Brock Purdy, 2 interceptions. Cameron Bynum with 2 interceptions on the night, and then the game-clinching pick as time, what was there, like 20 or so seconds left on the clock there. But more importantly to me, one big thing was, like, when I was covering the Vikings heading into the season, I was looking at the secondary and I was looking at the defensive line. I was thinking to myself, how are they going to hold up in the run game? Because that is certainly something that has my attention. Well, guys, tonight on Monday Night Football, prime time at home, they held Christian McCaffrey, a potential MVP candidate. I feel like tonight, honestly, might have ended his MVP candidate talks, to 15 carries for only 45 yards, averaging just 3 yards per carry. You're going to have to go all the way back at least a season ago to Christian's Carolina Panther days to find a stat line like that. But in general, the Vikings defensive line and their defense in general did a phenomenal job, giving up just 17 points to one of the highest powered, highest scoring offenses in the National Football League as a defense. 22 carries, they gave up just 65 rushing yards on just 3 yards per carry. But offense, Captain Kirk, no Justin Jefferson. Everybody was wondering. This, honestly, before we get into it, this is one of those games where it wasn't necessarily must win to me. I've always been saying this. Whoever wins the NFC North, it's going to come down to Minnesota versus Detroit. Who wins the season series, they will win the NFC North. Vikings fans were not panicking. I'm a Packers fan, but I was not panicking for Minnesota because I'm thinking to myself, they're at home against San Francisco. Even if they didn't win that game per se, they've got my Green Bay Packers, you've got the Falcons, the Saints, the Bears, a bye week, the Raiders. They have a very team-friendly rest of the schedule. But man, oh man, tonight was a huge win. After an 0-3 start, their 3-4 record right now honestly does not look bad, all things considered. I mean, you started 0-3 and you're 3-4. I'm pretty sure every single Vikings fan would take that who's watching this video. But it was led by Captain Kirk this evening, 35 of 45 without wide receiver 1, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have that interception. Jordan Addison, the rookie out of USC, One of those players where if you've been watching the Minnesota Vikings play football this season, you've been seeing something. Guys, we've seen flashes of it. We can go back 2 weeks ago to Kansas City. He caught 6 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. His first career NFL game against Tampa Bay, 4 catches, 61 yards and a touchdown. Followed it up against Philly with 3 catches, 72 yards and a touchdown. Followed it up in week 3 with 6 catches, 52 yards. Jordan Addison now has 5 or 6 wide receiving touchdown. I mean, that's not how you say it. He has 6 receiving touchdowns on the season as it stands right now. He is looking, I mean, he was, widely not necessarily hyped, but I mean, he was hyped, first round draft pick, obviously, but there was some skepticism. There was 100% some skepticism to Jordan Addison. Not necessarily when he got drafted by Minnesota. Minnesota Vikings fans and NFL fans around the world were looking at that being paired up with Justin Jefferson and new addition at last year's trade deadline in TJ Hockenson, obviously led by Captain Kirk. That's one hell of a unit, man. And Jordan Addison, the rookie, and also TJ Hockenson came through tonight this evening. Jordan, 7 catches, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the longest 60. TJ Hockenson doing TJ Hockenson things, 11 catches, 86 yards. Even guys like Brandon Powell stepping up, 4 catches, 64 yards. KJ Osborne, 5 catches for 47 yards. Cam Akers, he had some nice runs for a long of 13, 31 total rushing yards, and then he caught 2 catches for 30 yards. This was a great team victory, guys. I mean, it really was a great team victory. Did they win the game 42-17? No, but a win is a win in the National Football League, and they dominated it. I mean, they truly, I never felt watching this football game that Minnesota was going to lose it. Even all the way towards the end of the game after that missed field goal with less than 2 minutes to go, I'm looking at the clock. I'm thinking they need a touchdown. They got no timeouts. I think even though Brock Purdy has had technically, a fine game, I had faith in that defense. And this is, I mean, seriously, guys, momentum is everything, not only in sports, but especially in football. You're going up against my Green Bay Packers. I'm not going to we'll put it in pencil. We're not going to put it in pen. But I mean, you might as well just say the Minnesota Vikings are 4-4. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, obviously, here. It's just in general, the whole grand scheme of things. We flash back to like 2 weeks ago before that Chicago Bears game where the Minnesota Vikings were sitting at 1-4 and everybody's talking about, the New York Jets should trade for Kirk Cousins or the Tennessee Titans should trade for Kirk Cousins. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at their schedule, I'm watching these football games, and I'm thinking, they won 13 games last season. Obviously, the season didn't end the way Vikings fans wanted it to, but I'm thinking to myself, why on earth at 1-4 would they blow it up right now? It just doesn't make sense. Now, if they were 1-6 at the time of this recording, sure, maybe we could have that conversation. I just don't understand all of the disrespect and all of just kind of sweeping the Minnesota Vikings under the rug. Now, with that being said, they are still below 500. They are 3-4, but like we said, they've won 3 out of their last 4 football games. And tonight against San Francisco, one of the best teams in the entire league, this certainly was a statement win. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But Vikings fans, let me know what you guys are thinking about tonight's game down below.